New York African Restaurant Week runs until June 14th, with more than 24 restaurants in Brooklyn and Manhattan and Queens taking part. One of them, Joloff, has been serving delicious Senegalese cuisine in central Brooklyn for 20 years now. It smells so good here. To mark this milestone, this Friday they'll hold a celebration at Joloff with music by DJ Spinner and live performances from Wumi and Tony Blackman. In September, they'll hold a gala right here in our BRIC House Ballroom.
Here to tell us about all of that and the New York Restaurant Week is its founder, Akin Akinsanya, who is African Restaurant Week, of course. Hey, welcome, Akin. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And we're also happy to have the folks behind Joloff Restaurants. Its owner here, Pop Jange, is here along with his daughter Aisha, and she's also a proud first person working over at Joloff, and we're great and happy to have you here with all of your food. You've got me all turned around in my brain. I'm gonna let Aaron talk now.
Okay, well, first and foremost, thank each and every one of you for being here. And you know, African Restaurant Week's the 3rd annual, wishing nothing but success, success, and success. Akinsanya.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us, why there was the need for African Restaurant Week and how it's grown in the last 3 years?
Well, I'll tell you how it evolved first. It evolved out. We started this event called the Taste of Africa in Manhattan, and that allowed us to create relationships with different chefs and restaurants. So after a while, we decided, why not create a platform where we can highlight these different restaurants, these different chefs, these different people that a lot of people don't really know. We have other ethnicities doing their own restaurant weeks. We have a variety of restaurant weeks, but nobody ever mentions the African Restaurant Week. So we thought it would be a great way to give spotlight to a lot of these restaurant owners and chefs.
So I happen to have African Restaurant Week anytime at my house because I'm at Gates and Tompkins, a little bit away from you guys over in Bedford. So every time you deliver, it's African Restaurant Week. So what have you noticed in the last 20 years about the food landscape and people coming in and checking out and coming back to your food?
African food is doing well right now, but it could do much, much, much better because it's really unknown here in New York, I can say it, because people know more about Ethiopian when they're talking about African food, and we have something used. It's like it's untouched African food.
So it's
this is just something we just start exploring, because there was some other people who came before Akim and I who set the path for us. There was Kandai, after Akim, Dakar. All those people are the people who work with us for people to start trusting African food, because it was a trust.
Yeah. Now you're saying African food, but I mean, it's such a vast, large continent, biggest place. So,
absolutely.
In layman's terms, for African American, how do the different regions of Africa, how do the cuisines differ?
Well, for me, I don't know how it all differs, but I can say West Africa is slightly different from the Mediterranean, from like North Africa, from South Africa. And during the African Restaurant Week, that's one of the things we try to highlight. We try to highlight every part of the continent. You can from Morocco to Cape Town, you can find a representative cuisine during the African Restaurant Week.
So we're way beyond.
So you should definitely go out there and explore and go on the website NYRW, and the tons of restaurants to choose from.
So there's life beyond Injera. Like, we're all pretty familiar with Ethiopian food, but what do you think it's going to take to get people to cross the threshold and see, besides looking at this, like who would stay away after seeing what you guys have brought? But what is it going to take to sort of bridge that gap? You've made it easy, put a week around it, but how do you just pull people in and say, hey, try this?
First things in food, if it's good, look good, people will try it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. But when we're talking about African food, it's going to become very complicated.
Yeah.
Because some food, they're in the African continent, but they are not considered as African food.
Gotcha.
North Africa, their food is not considered as African food. It's considered as a Maghrebian food or Arab food, you can call it.
Right.
because that's what they call it themselves, even in the continent. Then we have to know when we're talking about African food, which type of food are we talking about? Which part of Africa are we talking about? Most likely those who are involved in this,
Right.
the West Africans, they're more represented in here.
In New York.
In New York,
Right.
we have Ethiopian too.
Okay.
Restaurant-wise, Ethiopian are more known. They're the first here.
Yeah.
They're more known than Senegalese or Ghanaian or Nigerian.
Okay.
But right now, what we're doing, or personally,
Yeah.
what I'm doing with the people, am I with? We try to expose what we have in West Africa, or I can say in the Black Africa.
Okay.
Okay.
So Aisha, if I was walking in and I said, you know, I've been to an African restaurant before, I tried something over here, what is like a dish that I may have had? If I love jerk chicken, what would you recommend?
If you love jerk chicken,
that's Africa.
I'll say you can get yassa ganar, or it's grilled chicken cooked with lemon and onion sauce. It has a little spice to it, but not as spicy as jerk chicken. And also, I would say the dibby, the grilled lamb chops, which is
The lamb chops.
awesome.
Eyes right here, you know?
And Aaron shares the same thing.
Well, you know, when I first moved to Brooklyn, you know, honestly, the first African restaurant I went to in Brooklyn was Joloff. And, you know,
Old location.
Old location. Old
Okay.
location. Tell my age, right? But, you know, I didn't, that's not something that I would necessarily seek out, but I had a friend and they had a birthday party and I was trying to find the website and I was looking, I was like, okay, this will be different.
Yeah.
And I went in and I had such an amazing, amazing time that, I've been back several times since, but, a lot of times when I come in, I still don't know what the different textures and different things means. Now, everything I've ever had has been delicious, but sometimes I feel like you need somebody to sort of walk you through the menu. So can you walk us through the delicious food that you have prepared for us today?
Oh, yes. What we have over there is what we call the cebujan. This is a national dish of Senegal. The component is fish and vegetables. The vegetables are seasonal.
Okay.
Like in Senegal, you use vegetable according to the season. Some season you have more carrot than anything. You use carrot. Sometimes you can use okra with the cebujan. You can use eggplant. All those are vegetables you can cook. But here, the things you find most of the time is cabbage, carrot, and cassava. You even can add broccoli to it. And the rice is what they call the Joloff rice. That's what our specialty is, seasoned rice. We have different kind. We have the broken one. We have the long grain. It's like seasoned. It's very tasty and versatile because you can have it with any type of sauce. You can have it with the peanut butter sauce. That's what I did here with the Joloff rice. And this is an individual platter of the cebujan, peanut butter sauce with boneless chicken.
Awesome.
Very tasty. And try it. I don't know if you ever tried peanut. Because we use a lot of peanut butter at Joloff because in Senegal we produce a lot of peanut. It's not just the cebujan we're eating.
Right.
We have peanut butter sauce with fish. We have the vegetarian one. We have the one with lamb. All kind of peanut butter.
All kinds of awesome.
Okay,
Yes.
so while they prepare the food, I'm going to divert attention and just ask you, where are the restaurants and how many are participating this year?
We have about 24 restaurants, mainly Brooklyn and Manhattan.
Okay.
All over Harlem. We have, of course, Joloff, Madiba. I'll name a few. We have even the Sissel participating because they do Afro-Asian cuisine. So we figured, the African Restaurant Week wants to celebrate anyone that wants to celebrate the African heritage. True food is encouraged to be part of it. So absolutely.
So share their website again.
It's nyarw.com.
NYARW.
So everybody, we have an event tonight at Taj Lounge where we're gonna have like a few chefs and restaurants participating, and it's gonna start from 6:30 till 11 o'clock.
You can see it's getting a little bit busy. Aaron's about to get his lunch on. So we do encourage you guys to check out the website and go and have a new sensory experience.
Absolutely.
There's life outside of McDonald's. And we're lucky
That's the
enough to have
That's
folks
the
in
word.
the community.
That's the
Try
word.
that with the rice, and
the rice,
you
gotta try
will
it with
tell
the
me
rice.
how it is.
I'm going to jump in. And it's very communal here.
And you
We've
can
been
take this one
doing
right
it for
here.
Yes.
I feel like you can have your own plate.
delicious.
This sauce is so good. The sauce is so good.
Okay, so we'll see you Friday night at Joloff as long as we
They
can
never
do this
disappoint.
again.
Yes.
Friday
They never
night.
disappoint. I try lamb chops.
20 years later, DJ Spinner, you got a lot of people coming through.
Booming, Tony Blackman.
And you see
Yeah.
some new twist the Joloff give to the food too, different than the one you're having here.
Awesome.
I love you.
Yeah, we should make this a standing segment. What do you think? Standing
Hands down.
segment every Tuesday.
Hands down. Good food, good people.
Well, Aaron's in, but he doesn't know how to cook.
Yes.
So.
You know what juices
I
are these
love
right here?
people who don't know how to cook.
So we
You
have
do love people who don't know how to
right
cook.
Hold on, Aisha, what you
Knows how to
say?
eat real
That's
well.
ginger.
This is ginger, Brian.
Is this a
And
sorrel?
you have the blend of ginger and sorrel.
Love
All right.
this.
Cheers.
Very good for the summer.
To your health.
Oh, delicious. You can't go wrong. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No.